When it comes to Kyle Field, there are a few notable numbers. But just how massive is this project? We asked a few students for their best guesses. How many bricks do you think so far have been used on Kyle Field?
Say 115,000.
Probably close to 800,000.
100,000.
How many truckloads of debris have been removed from Kyle Field?
It's gonna be crazy. It's probably like 500 plus.
I'd say like 1,500.
How many pounds of structural steel has been used so far?
10 tons.
10 tons of structural steel. Okay.
I think it's more than these are all like random guesses. I don't know anything.
2,500 tons.
How many new flights of stairs have been put in?
I went by there the other night, so like.
And you counted them?
Yeah, I counted them.
You should know.
Let's see. Let's say like 50.
How many gallons of paint?
Gallons of paint. Maybe like 4,000 or so. I'm not 100% sure on that.
How many doors?
Doors. It's gonna be like in the hundreds probably for bathroom. No.
Bathrooms? That's
There's
good.
a lot of bathrooms. Probably like, I don't know, 100.
Slate, I'm gonna go 250.
250. We're gonna go 250. Okay, we're a little off.
Just a little bit north of Denton is Tioga, certainly a tiny town, but it is one that laid a big foundation for Texas A&M football in the redeveloping Kyle Field. I'm Steve Fulhard. That story's still to come on Aggie Gameday.
I'm back in the saddle again.
Tioga's quite the quiet town.
Out where a friend is a friend.
But what was produced here, if it could hear, would hear a whole lot of loudness. This is Kyle Field's field for 2014, before it made the trip to Aggieland. Blades of Bermuda grass that on this July day got a big drink.
We have about 25 to 30 people typically at this farm.
Randy Price runs Tritex, providing turf grass for landscaping, golf courses, and sports venues. Back in 2007, the Aggie football team ran across a new gridiron from Tritex. That was Bermuda Grass too, and there's a reason for that.
Resilience, regrowth, recovery. It's bulletproof. It has rapid growth. It's got good color. It does all the things that sports and golf and homeowner traffic. It just does a good job for that.
Bermuda is tolerant to hot weather, resistant to wear, and it doesn't need a huge amount of water like what it got when we were there.
These are the roots and the rhizomes that are under the soil. On top are stolons that will attach themselves to the ground and expand from that. So your field starts from this.
Once it's off the ground, the grass has to go through a little bit of a washdown.
And we'll put it on this machine, and the machine with all the jets of water blow the dirt off the root system so that we have just bare roots, what's called bare root system.
And after a ride in a refrigerated truck, the grass found its way to its new home.
It came in 42-inch rolls, and those and had one seam in the middle, split roll. We have to get those seams to grow together because that's where, when a player puts his foot down, he could possibly push that turf up a little bit. So we put probably close to an inch of top dress on top of it.
Leo Gertz is in charge of maintaining fields for Aggie athletics.
Normally, to make sure that we're 100% safe and sure. We'd like to have 60, but obviously we can do it. We can do it in 30 days if the conditions are right. And fortunately, the conditions have been right. We've had very little rain. We've finally gotten some hot temperatures. Just been spoon feeding it with fertilizer weekly, and just like I said, monitoring the pHs and just working to get the seams to grow together. We want to make sure that there's no issues with blowouts, whatever. If you got a good, healthy turf, you shouldn't see those things. You're going to see some divots. You're going to see some, obviously some damage when a rain game and things like that. I don't watch a game because it's a game. I watch it because of the surface. Our number one priority with all of our surfaces is safety for our players.
High above the action, Chase Murphy's eyes look down, so his voice can rain down on Kyle.
43.
Number 6, Dreyfus Jackson, the ball carrier, tackled by number 43, Justin Bass.
If it was anyone else, I'd say there was no justice in the world.
He's not alone in the room on the end of the press box.
Let's do the Adidas reader right now. Go.
Texas A&M recognizes Adidas.
The crew is coordinating any number of aspects of the fan experience, but Murphy is the one who's heard.
Number 21, Trey Carson, the ball carrier,
relaying information he sees and facts he's been armed with in the lead-up.
The access I get to them probably 24 hours in excess, slightly in excess of 24 hours before game time. We have the script meetings that we have every Friday at 2 o'clock before the game the next day.
And he tries to make sure he's got those pesky, difficult names right, whether they're players or people being recognized.
As well as Caroline and William Lehrer Chair in water.
The last thing you want to do is misidentify them or mispronounce their name. You definitely don't want to embarrass the university. It's the last thing you want to do. And I think doubly so because I am a former student.
In 2002, Murphy introduced a little add-on for when the home team moved the chains.
Gain of 39 yards on the play in a fighting Texas Aggie first down.
And there was some criticism, but it's still going. During the Auburn game last season, he again decided to try something new.
So one of the things that I noticed was on third down, you say, third down and 5 for the Tigers at the 27-yard line or whatever it happened to be, no discernible change in crowd volume.
So in an effort to raise awareness for a key upcoming play,
ball is at the A&M 16-yard line.
He reordered words,
5 yards to go,
and threw in a pause.
It is third down.
For some, you'd think the Hindenburg exploded again.
Yeah, I've caught some flack for that.
A thread on TexAgs after the Rice game was fueled by some very distinct negative opinions of the change, and he's heard them on social media too.
I've been accused of being arrogant about it. I've been accused of being a bad representative of the university, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be such a bad representative of Texas A&M for saying it is third down.
We also encourage you to take advantage of the first aid stations.
I'm going for understating. I don't want to feel like I'm grabbing a microphone and swinging from the chandelier making this announcement. That's not what I'm going for.
Some things you might not know, Chase puts himself on over the PA system with a drop of a foot on a pedal.
1-yard line by number 18, Brandon Hamilton.
And that spotter sitting next to him calling out player numbers.
Number 32, Derek Dillard with the carry.
83.
It's his third spotter in his time as announcer, and his wife.
What a great way for us to spend a little time together we have 2 kids, let the kids do their thing.
But the thing he wants folks to know is that this is fun for him. And it goes back to what our story started with.
It's still special.
Touchdown, Texas A&M.
It's still a fun way to spend a Saturday.
A 20-yard touchdown pass from number 7.
It still stands. If it was anybody else, I'd say there's no justice in the world.
What's old is new again on this Saturday. I'm Steve Fullhart. We will tell you how 1939 and 2014 are colliding. This is Aggie Game Day.
We challenged the creative team to really push the envelope and try something that hadn't been done with a throwback before, whether it be in the NFL or in the college game. And I think we succeeded, and especially the detail that we have in the helmet and all the little the stuff with the stitching or the utilizing the actual photos of a 39 A&M game helmet to make all the decals to show the wing and the cross, the stitching, the airbrushing of the ear holes on the helmet, the weathering of the face mask, the rust in the hardware. Hydrographics and Rydell, Adidas, and everybody here on the A&M side really did a great job.
And even something like on the numbers where there's a little wear and tear. Obviously, there will be some wear and tear after this game, but going into it, it looks like a classic uniform.
Exactly, and that's kind of what we were going for, something different to do the weathered look. And so really you have to see the uniform up close and personal. And one of the things is the numbers is Adidas made numbers, which the number kit is the same font as the 39 uniform had.
And even the staff on the sideline is going to be wearing some classic gear that fans will be able to purchase as well as we celebrate 75 years since the national championship team. Why is this so important to you and your staff, who obviously is working incredibly hard?
This is a project that me personally I've wanted to work on for over 10 years as a graduate of Texas A&M and being here fortunately as long as I have. And so for us here in the equipment room, it's really fun to get to work on projects like this and see the excitement, particularly in the players' eyes, and that they get excited about this kind of stuff. And then this is something that really, when we were talking about it, this was for the fans, is what it started out to be. We've never done a throwback before, and we thought that the iconic look of the 1939 team winning the national championship, and then this coinciding with the 75th anniversary of us winning that championship, just gave kind of the perfect opportunity to do that.
Marcus Spears, SEC Nation.
I'm Steve Fullhart. You don't care about me. Marcus, going to talk a little bit about the game, and some guy named Tebow weighs in. That's next on Aggie Game Day.
And he says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in.
Obviously, Aggie Game Day is here at Kyle Field for each and every home game, but sometimes some other pregame shows come into town. SEC Nation from the SEC Network making their first year's journey, and they are stopped in Aggieland. We got a chance to speak to Marcus Spears, Tim Tebow, and Joe Tessitore before their big shows. Talk about Kyle Allen for a little bit, Tim. 2 games, 2 starts at this point, so the measuring stick isn't exactly long. Talk about what you've seen so far from him.
Well, I think you've seen some really big-time plays, and I think you've also seen a freshman out there, especially in his first start. But he's someone that obviously coming out of Scottsdale, Arizona, was very hyped, has a lot of talent, can make a lot of big-time throws. I think that's going to be a key, is that he makes great decisions. It's not all about making the big-time play. It's about not hurting your team. And if he can do that, like he did last week versus Auburn, A&M will have a good shot.
Talk about atmosphere. Obviously, you experienced that when you were here as a student. Does it fit the SEC mold?
Yeah. 106,000 now, right? So I think the transition just went well, and having Coach Sumlin and the type of players that you guys have had since being in the league, especially Johnny, it does a lot for the program. And now kids in Texas, you know, it used to be at one time when I was coming out, UT was the place to go for the top players in Texas. Now A&M is, you know, it's hard to beat. And then you look at that new facility. If I was 17 from Texas, I would be coming here just to sit in that spa every day.
Launching a network's not easy.
No, it's not easy. But it's a little easier when you launch with 95 million homes. So it's a little easier when you're the biggest launch in the history of cable TV. So we were very fortunate that we had the big audience right from the start, and Texas A&M was a big part of that Thursday nighter at South Carolina, so that helped tremendously. It's been a great ride. We've had a lot of fun with the show.
Our thanks to the folks at ESPN, the SEC Network, and SEC Nation for taking a little bit of time for us. Of course, they air on Saturday mornings. We do too when there's a home game, and we've got plenty more still to come on this edition of Aggie Game Day.